Kanpai! What's this, take 17?
20.
More like 117.
Okay, cool. So, welcome weebs. We're on episode 37 of Kanpai Cast. Today, we are talking about piracy and anime. So, a bit of a controversial topic. And in all honesty, I was saving this one for Loz's triumphant return. But going straight into the housekeeping, Loz is missing!
Loz is missing.
Why?
So you may have noticed that Loz was here for 10 o'clock. A little bit of an explanation. Loz decided, you know, I'm sick of being absent from 10 o'clock for so long. We've just had the Angels of the Zariman update for Warframe. I want to come back. So he came back and he recorded the whole thing using his mobile phone data. Except for he then proceeded to try and upload it, and it kept on crashing because his mobile phone provider went like, "You uploaded too much. Too much data."
You want to upload how much? No.
So he opted to find an alternative means for getting it up on so it can be live tomorrow.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's up to you now to do your part. So, but yes, it's been a crazy endeavor to get this all fucking up and running, and we've had changes to Kanpai Cast and all sorts. So, like, we were actually recording an hour later than we wanted to, but Thaylien was like, "Yeah, I'm in this one. I want to be in this one. I want to." So yeah, so Thaylien is
he doesn't have to go to bed tonight. Yeah.
Anyway, right. So that's the first point. The second point, which is normally the first point, just to remind everyone, we have timestamps and chapters allowing people to navigate to the section of the show that they're interested in watching. You can even just get a preview of what we're even going to be talking about. So, anyway, based on the speed of the rendering last episode, we're going to try and release these a day earlier, so they look to come out on Thursdays as opposed to Fridays. We managed to get the episode up I managed to get you the footage. What was it, the next day? Or
I think by the next day I had it and was able to mess around with it. Yeah.
There was a few rendering teething issues, but I think we've all got that nipped in the bud. So
that rather optimistic little note there at the bottom of your housekeeping saying,
I know. I wrote this before the news, and I forgot to change it because so much stuff was happening. Yeah.
Oh god, this has been a mess. This has been a mess.
I counted my eggs before they'd hatched.
And the good news is I also have I got my memes.
Yes.
So anyway, but now I shall hand over to Nasuth.
Which is good because I'm not sure we could pause to get your memes if we needed to right now.
Oh dear god, right. Technology, what is it good for? Yep. Seriously.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
So, right on into the news. The Shadow Galactica arc, which is the final arc of Naoko Takeuchi's Sailor Moon manga, will get a 2-part anime film project titled I'm Not Even Gonna... Gakijoban Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon Cosmos, which is Pretty Girly and Sailor Moon Cosmos, the movie. That will open in Japan in early summer 2023. No news on the English launch. A new official website is open, revealing a trailer and a visual. You can go look that up. I've seen some Sailor Moon movies. They're all right. You know, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's decent. It's decent. Bandai Spirits. This one was for Laws, who is not here. Bandai Spirits announced plans on Thursday to build a new Bandai Hobby Center factory with a planned production launch in 2024 in order to satisfy the rising demand in Gunpla. Especially with the 40th anniversary, as well as a planned Hollywood live-action film for Gundam.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why people are hyped for that, but...
Well, imagine Japan's hype, because, like, money! It's gonna be total trash, because you can't do it right, but money!
The Japanese government announced on Thursday that director Hideki Anno is receiving the Spring 2022 Medal with Purple Ribbon. The medal is awarded to individuals who have contributed to academic and artistic developments, improvements, and accomplishments. The other winners included Yasushi Akimoto, the founder of AKB48 idol group, and also the creator of the One Missed Call novel and film franchise. I've never heard of either of any of those, but congratulations, Hideki Anno.
I mean, Anno has certainly had some influence on.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't necessarily say it was good.
The better half of Studio Ghibli also won one in like '99 or something. So, some big names in there. Mm-hmm. Billy so this is a sad one. Billy Kametz, a voice actor for the roles of Josuke from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Naofumi from Rising of the Shield Hero, among many others, recently announced on his YouTube channel that he was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. Other actors will be taking over his roles while he undergoes treatment. So,
shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know how bad stage 4 is these days. At least it's not stage 5.
I have a relative over on another continent that survived stage 2 colon cancer.
Yeah.
And that was horrific. You actually had to do a cut and then shut on some of his organs.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
The earlier you catch it, the better it is. But I mean, they've also medical technology's come a long way. So hopefully he'll get back in things. Anyway, let's try and move on a little from that. To the final news, Tsubasa Yamaguchi's The Blue Period manga is inspiring its own art exhibit, which will show off the talents of 34 real-life art school students across Japan, replicating the manga's first 6 volume covers with various art techniques, including charcoal, pencil, sketches, and oil paintings. It will run from June 18th to September 27th in Kenozu, Tokyo. And I do actually have a few of the covers that they are going to show. These are I think these are just 6 of them, 6 of the many. But I mean they are just absolutely gorgeous. I don't know, I haven't actually looked at the original manga, but yeah. Sorry, so it's
quite a mix.
Yeah. It's really just a nice example of art imitating art? Life imitating art?
Yeah.
Something?
Or art imitate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really interesting.
Art imitates life imitates art.
Yeah. Yep. So, that's it for the news. Shall we got anything else before we move on to the topic?
Before we sail the ocean blue.
I don't think so. I think it's like let's go straight into the topic. So
this ramming speed.
So this topic was very much built on the recent news from things like I'm trying to remember the Funimation buyout of Crunchyroll, the likes of Netflix increasing their subscriptions, Disney Plus getting involved in anime, and what's the name of the term? Inventing its own jailing system.
Jail,
again, Netflix creates. There's a lot of controversy with this stuff, and there are people that I don't want to pay for all these subscriptions. The cost of Crunchyroll can just go to whatever it wants, and there's a lot behind this.
The whole point of the online streaming system was supposed to be that TV, with all of its subscriptions and channels, was too expensive, and if you all had it in just one place, then the subscription would go to everybody, and everybody would profit. And then they just did exactly the same again with streaming services. Yeah,
it's mirroring exactly how TV went through its metamorphosis. Because you started with like one channel, and then you had the big 3, and then you had off broadcast. You actually started getting your cable channels instead of just your broadcast channels. And eventually it all had to be grouped together into a cable package that was cheaper and technically cheaper than getting all of them individually. And that's going to happen again with the internet. All these streaming services are going to be like, now you need to join, Comcast streaming, where we've grouped all these together for you. You can get access to Disney Plus and Netflix, and all for one low price of $39.99 or $59.99 or whatever.
Yeah, and it was weird because it wasn't even just one package. You started off with one package, but they went on to the sports package, the movie package, the kids entertainment package.
Yep.
I don't even want to actually say that on a recorded videos package. Yeah. But and then even worse than that, it then just went on to pay per view, which literally what Disney Plus is doing with its movies.
Well, you also had your premium channels like Disney and HBO and Cinemax and
What can you do? I mean, it just the unending greed of corporations just never goes away.
And it's quite impressive because back in the early days of Netflix, there was finally a solution that people were happy with, that they wanted to buy into, equivalent to Steam for gaming and things. And as a result, piracy had seen a significant blow. It had dropped off.
I think there was a perfect
Steam. Sorry.
Oh yeah. I think there was a perfect balance there, but of competition, because you also had Hulu, which had a relatively strong presence. So there may have been a third one that I'm not thinking of, but at least you had two there, so that no one had a monopoly and could just price gouge. You had two there, so they had to fight against each other. But owning two subscriptions also wasn't too expensive, so you could do both of them. I'm sorry, Thaylien, you were going to go about the piracy dropping.
It's funny you should say about Steam, because Steam saw the same thing. The second that they could, EA dropped their Origin store on PC, and then Epic came along with their own as well. But I mean, a long time later, but all of these stores popped up again. So you would have different games on different channels, different services, as the publishers themselves decide to get in on the action rather than going through Steam, which is just, again, the same stupid thing.
Yeah, but at least then you don't have to pay for the service; you're paying for the game still. So it's not quite as bad.
No, it's not quite as bad, but it's the same thing of people don't want. Corporations don't want to just make money. They want to make all
the money. Yeah.
Every time. They must show profits quarter on quarter, or they're not winning. They're not actually succeeding. Even if they're still making profits, they're not making more profit than the last. Just they're not doing a good enough job.
So a lot of this, a lot of what we're going to talk about today is going to inspire different lines of thinking, different points of discussion when it comes to piracy, whether or not, not necessarily what our viewpoints are, but certainly the various different viewpoints of what the communities out there can perceive it to be, especially involving anime. So let's talk about the effects, the ramifications of piracy across the industry.
Okay.
So does anyone have any specific point that they want to raise first, or do you want me to start?
Well, I mean, you raised the topic. I think you should go ahead and start.
Fair
go
enough.
ahead. Got a few for later.
One of the biggest negatives I feel that piracy has a negative impact on things like not just the bottom line of corporations. The bottom line I genuinely couldn't care about, but the actual jobs of the people working on this stuff. So like we're talking about the translators, we're talking about the voice acting talent, we're talking about the people that mix everything together, we're talking about
the artists who draw it.
Yes,
the people
to that extent
that actually
as well.
create the product. Forget the publishers, just the actual creators.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is the major thing about this industry is it has to support the people that actually make it.
Yes.
Otherwise, we go back to you should be doing it as a passion project, and that's you pay people what they're worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, there's do you remember recently Disney, I think, were talking about picking up Futurama again, or someone was talking about picking up Futurama again for a 9th season, and the voice actor for Bender refused to do it for under a certain amount of money, right? And there was this stigma from a lot of people that, you know, oh, he's doing it for greed, he's doing it. It's like, no, he's
just worth more now.
Yeah, that's what he's worth. Why should he be paid less because it's Bender again, right? And this is often an attitude seen across all sorts of businesses where people are, oh yeah, we should get rid of X, Y, or Z because you know, we shouldn't have to pay you because we could get someone else to do this. But people won't like that, right?
You get a scab, yeah.
You know. So I feel that piracy can have such a massive impact on the livelihoods of the voice acting talent and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we may be down on the greed of all the money floating to the top, but we're definitely not against people getting. I don't think any of us are against people getting paid what they're worth.
I said it before, say it again, pay people what they're worth.
Yeah.
And those people at the top are not worth the money they're getting.
But
that money should be going further down the chain, not up it.
Yeah, just to clarify, Thaylien's not talking about the people that actually put the work in, we're talking about the people that are profiting from it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay.
That is a big point. Artists need to get paid.
I feel though that a lot of pirates out there have the attitude though of, well, I would pay if I had money. Right? But I don't get paid shit. So here's the stifling.
I wasn't going to give them any money anyway, so it doesn't matter whether I take it or not. They're not getting. Yeah. They're either way. They're not getting my money because I just don't have it. Right? That sort of thing.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about that?
Well, from a certain point of view, you've got to expect this. You've got the two sides of the coin, really. One is, if they were never going to pay for it, why are they able to watch it? Mm-hmm. But the other side is, you think of it like any other product in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And actually, like the food industry. Okay, it's a huge thing about the food industry where they cannot sell products after a certain point.
Yeah.
And that point is often arbitrary. It's not actually done based on whether the food is still fresh or stale or going off or anything. It's just based on...
It's a general calculation of when... Yeah.
And some of them aren't even calculated. Some of them are just thrown on there by the corporations. But there is a massive thing of that they would rather throw away the product past that point than let anybody have it. Yes. So even if it's not bad, they will prefer to throw it out, and they go to extreme lengths in some cases to make sure that nobody just comes along and picks it up. You know, because that is product they could have sold, even if they were going to throw it away anyway.
Strangely,
so why should somebody have it?
Well, that is mostly the case. We have something here. It's like, so bread that's a quote unquote a day old. They take it out of the main grocery stores and they give it to these little stores, and they can sell it at an extremely reduced price.
Yes, so there is that option.
But then you're dealing with the fact that it can go moldy in a couple days.
Absolutely positive that system is subsidied in some way for the companies that actually created it in the first place.
Yeah.
So again, the organization creating the anime is not going to be subsidized to compensate for people.
Yeah.
This
is an outlier,
especially if they're getting it again and again and again as many times as they like for free. This is, it's a perpetual product. This until all records of it are deleted, somebody will always be able to watch this anime. So
it's not like being able to sneak into a movie theater where you're could be taking a potential seat for somebody else.
Exactly. So yes, so you've got that dichotomy of, if you're not paying, why should you get it? But then again, why shouldn't you get it after everybody else has paid for it and are now willing to share it with you? Somebody had to pay for it in the first place, and they're willing to share it with you. It's like no different than inviting somebody over to your house to watch it in your living room.
Okay, no, is it, or is it like recording it for them on a VHS and then giving it to them?
So, but does that really matter? If it's only going to them or even 3 other people, what's the difference between that and watching it in your living room?
So here's a really interesting point, which I don't know if you guys are aware. In the terms and conditions of pretty much every DVD, Blu-ray, VHS you have what's called like you have a personal license to watch this thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. And
we have like an FBI warning at the start of all of ours here in America. It's like you can't duplicate this and with intent to distribute.
You wouldn't download a car.
But the important thing is you can't watch it in groups more than 3 or 4 people. Right?
Really?
No.
I didn't know that.
No, you can't.
Yes. So you can't have like a party come over to watch a movie, right? That is technically
wow.
breaking the terms. Right. But right, here's the thing. Microsoft were going to use the Kinect for which one of was it the Xbox One?
360.
No, it wasn't 360. It was the one after 360.
That was the first Kinect, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that was the first Kinect. It was
the
Xbox.
But it was the Kinect 2, the one they put on the other console. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Which came with the console, and the idea was that it would scan the room to see how many people were in the room. So when you were watching a movie or a series or whatever, if there were too many people in the room, it would block you from watching it.
What?
Yes. It was a huge point of contention. And Microsoft had to back down from it.
Yeah.
Because it's against basic terms of privacy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Actively inside your room.
No, not just that. But
not that anyone cares about that anymore. They all have an Alexa that listens to them at night.
Basically, with this situation, with that Xbox console, was it the one? Was the one after the 360? It was, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the one. So with the Xbox One, they were saying things like you couldn't share video games. You had to. You wouldn't be able to.
They did go heavily into that because they were going to use it as a media center.
Yeah,
that was why it lost so heavily to PlayStation.
You had to register your games online and also. So they were going to do all this stuff to the point of even Sony mocked them. Right?
Yes, that was it. Their ad campaign was, how do you share a game on PlayStation? And they literally just handed the box over.
Yeah. And it was Microsoft would the projections for who was going to buy an Xbox One was in the toilet, and they had to go back on all of it. Right?
Yes, they did.
And
rightly so, I think.
Yeah, because if you're having guests over, what is the harm in a group of people watching something, right?
Well, let's say you resell a DVD that you buy, right?
Yeah.
Aren't you taking... If you sell it cheaper, aren't you taking money away from the company? Should that person not have had to go out and buy it at full price from the company? If they really wanted to see it?
Yeah, but that's the corporation's way of thinking about
exactly,
it. But what if the corporation's not even distributing it anymore?
Yep.
They still
it's still their intellectual property, though. You can't.
Nowadays, the whole thing is that you're not actually buying any of this. You're
buying a license. Yeah.
You are leasing it for the duration, and they have any and all rights to take that back whenever they like.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is really starting to worry me.
Yeah. It's mental. But here's the next question for you, right? So, or the next talking point, I think, with all of this mentality. There's nothing wrong. I don't see anything. So Joe blogs on the street. I see nothing wrong with being able to lend my friends my copy of Rising the Shield Hero or Castlevania or whatever. You know, they want to see it. Then comes the point that because you know, of the mentality of I'm doing nothing wrong, piracy, it flourishes, and thus governments are pressured into preventing piracy.
And most governments don't even understand the internet or piracy to begin with, or copyright for that matter.
So one point I want to raise, in the UK, I know the US has a similar law, I just can't remember what it's called, but in the UK we have what's called the Snoopers Charter. Do you know what that is, Thaylien?
Rings a bell. I haven't looked into it.
So this is something where Theresa May, our prime minister, last prime minister before Boris Johnson,
before Boris.
Yeah, before she was prime minister, she had run a campaign illegally to monitor the activity of the UK citizens on the internet. Right? Ooh. She was collecting data, and this is one of the reasons why WhatsApp is so heavily despised. It's not anymore because fucking Facebook installed the back door, but it was so heavily despised because WhatsApp is entirely end-to-end encrypted, right? So there's no way to, you know, and this is where the looting happened in Birmingham, Manchester, and London, right? So it all kicked off in London, and then the police force had to
actual riots and everything.
Yeah, the police force had to move a lot of manpower into London, which left other parts of the country vulnerable, and as a result, there was looting in Manchester and Birmingham. And they would say it was like, oh, it's protests. They don't even know. The kids didn't even know what they were protesting. They were just looting. They didn't know it. And, you know, it was all organized through WhatsApp, you know, something that no one could monitor. And that basically led Theresa May to start this sort of like initiative, which eventually became the Snoopers Charter, which basically allowed her to allowed the armed forces, or just, you know, they're not armed forces. What do we classify them as? Like the, you know, paramedics, firefighters,
civil services.
Thank you. Emergency services.
Yes, that's the one.
It gave emergency services the power to investigate the data usage of any one individual, right? Which means that internet service providers have to hold 7 years of your activity, right, to be called on at any point in time by emergency services without a court order, right? So at any point in time, they could just turn around and say, like, you know, I need this data between these dates for Thaylien, right? And this is where VPNs and things come from, because VPNs,
I was going to say,
they encrypt the data to beyond what the ISP can.
Before it gets to the ISP's data, it's encrypted, so it can't be. Yeah. It can be stored, it can be logged, it just can't be read.
Yeah.
Except that some ISPs have turned around and, you know, put in backdoors for governments, but, you know,
Well, they put in backdoors.
You can't do that
for ISP for VPNs. Once you've got
Sorry, I meant
like,
VPN.
Oh, some VPNs, yeah. So, you get all this. So
sort of like how the iPhone put one in for the government to use as well.
Yeah. So you push in one direction, which is like, we want more money, and society pushes in the other direction. Well, tough, piracy, which is our solution. To which then the governments put stricter,
we're gonna track you now.
We're gonna put in stricter shit, right? And then
we're gonna prosecute an 82-year-old woman who downloaded one song because we need to set an example.
Oh God. Society pushes still piracy, right? And the weird thing is, it's not hurting the people that are committing piracy. It's hurting everyone else.
Yeah.
And
because the people committing piracy are usually doing it with their own full encryption and everything else to stop themselves from getting horrible viruses.
Yeah. Like they typically they know what the fuck they're doing, and so who wants to take this in any other direction, or do you guys have any further points you want to have?
Well, no, in terms of the ramifications of it, you have to take that on its natural course. So as more governments crack down on it, does this actually make anime more available? No, it doesn't. What happens then is that the industry starts making less and less profit, so more studios go out.
Yep.
The actual people making it suffer. But more and more people stop. They find their way around these things, but it just isn't available. So the industry takes a nosedive and has to recover from that. At which point they try new initiatives, new things like Crunchyroll, like Netflix did, to try and find new revenues to make their profit, to make these, to bring back these ideas and bring back these studios. And the cycle will begin again. But it'll begin again from that same point that we did with the original Netflix. It'll choose one place that they can go, one specific area to go and get it, and then everybody will want another piece of that pie. But we are on the downward slope of that now, as you see with the buyout of Crunchyroll to make sure that Funimation can put ads on it and make paid tiers exclusively at only things you can watch ad free. All of these other things that it's doing, with Netflix's price going up, Disney's anime jail, all of it, creating these basically artificial droughts of legal access to it. We're now going to see the rise in piracy, the fall in profits for the makers, and a period of drought where we've got no content, no anime, no series to watch, because the studios that we love are going to start going out of business. It is the downward side of this cycle.
I mean, unless somebody comes along and innovates, before it can, which I think is kind of where I would want to move to on the topic. So there are pirate sites out there like GoGo Anime, or I think Anime Frenzy might still be out there. What was the big one? KissAnime was big for a long time.
It was big for a very long while. And of course, we've all know of the one with the actual name in the title, The Bay of Pirates.
Yeah, but I'm talking specifically about streaming sites.
Yeah, no, exactly. That
I'm specifically talking about streaming sites here because I want to compare them. I want to compare to something like Crunchyroll. Could Crunchyroll do something to have better a better interface? Because some of these sites allow you to do things that you can't do on one of the bigger sites. You can choose your quality. A lot of times the bigger sites force you into a specific quality. A lot of times you can download it on your device to watch later if you can't watch it right now, or if you have if like your internet connection is too bad to watch it at 1080p normally streaming, but if you download it, it might take longer, but you'll be able to watch it that way. They could do something like hooking into Anime Planet or My Anime List, and as you watch a show, they could add it to your list of this is something that I've watched, this is something that I've made it through. You know, so could they? Are there things that these sites could do? These actual official sites like Netflix and Crunchyroll, to make it more worth your while to pay for a subscription to get those perks, rather than just having to do it all manually or whatever, or whatever.
Well, they could, but wouldn't that just make them want to be paid more?
Yeah, probably.
They'll take more of a cut.
Weirdly enough, the thing that would actually get my attention more in terms of what's the name of the Crunchyroll specifically, is take a leaf out of Netflix's book, go to influencers, AniTubers, whoever you want, and get them to experience the shows and then give like a genuine, yes, this is banging, this is popping, or whatever, right? Give them sponsor them to do a specialized video, not
with
just
an honest review, not a sponsored review, but an honest review.
Yeah.
So that they get the okay, I see where you're going with this. Because what we do is then curate shows based on who you like to follow.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So that would be a good tie-in, yes, because you could then go with streamers, with VTubers, with actually getting into the VTuber stream might
if you know,
be.
Yeah.
If you know, like I don't know too many AniTubers, but if you know that you like Giguk or something, like you respect his opinion, and he often agrees with what you would like out of a series, then you can just go search his reviews and be like, oh, he doesn't like this series, I probably don't want to give it a try. That sort of thing is what you're saying.
Yeah,
wasn't there a guy? Because Steam did this, where you can actually have dedicated review channels, review accounts, where people can actually support you as a reviewer.
Really?
Yeah. So you can actually have collections, things reviewed by a specific person, and you can go through them based on their reviews. Now, Steam has that, and I remember it because there was a brief meme about an account called Commander Shepard, who basically went around, played about 30 hours of each game, and just said, I'm Commander Shepard, this is my favourite game on Steam.
Yeah.
That was all, every time. It was the only review he gave, but he always actually played the game, which was amazing.
Oh, God.
So,
okay, all right.
I will say that I think like this has a double-edged sword to it. It is so important that it should be the AniTubers' honest perspective on the anime and things. They can't
get more money for doing a good review or versus a bad review.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No. The whole point is that there was a Netflix series, I don't know if any of you have watched it, called Records of Ragnarok. Right?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
Right.
No.
The whole premise is that effectively it's the best of humanity versus the best of the gods, because the gods are deciding, you know what, humanity sucks too hard now, we're going to reset the earth, right? And someone, I can't remember, I think it's a Valkyrie, turns around and says, well, let's give humanity a fighting chance. Let's actually fight, right? And they get like loads of different characters from all across history, around the world, and they're fighting various different deities. Weirdly enough, they also get Adam from Adam and Eve, but fuck knows what that was.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So this was a sponsored video by Netflix to get all these AniTubers in to take a look at the show and everything. Very much AniTubers react sort of thing, like the Fine Brothers did react to shows and stuff. And what the AniTubers saw was amazing, right? They got a 6-minute
highly curated videos of it. Yes.
No. 6-minute segment that was split across like 4 different episodes.
Oh.
Right? And afterwards, they felt really cheated. But like, this is big money. This is this month's rent and shit like that. So, so if you really
it has to be something like the 3-episode rule for every show.
Yeah.
Or for a show.
Yeah. For a show that they're going to review. For any show they review, has to be exposure to multiple episodes and has to be a review, not a praise piece.
I think had someone like Crunchyroll had done that for VV Florentine Eversong. I can't.
Fluoride Eyes.
Damn it! I never get that wrong. I never get that right, rather. Anyway, regardless, if they had gotten a YouTuber to do a sponsored talk about the first 3 episodes of VV, that show would have just skyrocketed.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yep. I completely... Because it was such an underdog.
Yep, and featured one of the best girls of the season.
Huh. So...
Exactly.
So I think, personally, if they were to do that, that would get me more on board with Crunchyroll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What about you, Nasuth? What could Crunchyroll do for you?
Ooh, that is a good question. Because I'm trying to think more on the technical side of things.
I will also say, Thaylien, your thing about the whole, like, this is a track of shows that, like, Giguk likes and things. I'm Giguk and I approve this anime. I think that would also go like super duper far as well.
Yes. But the other part of it, I think, would be... I'm going to go with Nasuth as well. They need to do something on the technical side.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out what that would be.
I feel like, so like Netflix has this thing where...
use and as well as the as background functions that actually make it easier to use the site, make it more functional. Because
so that idea for tying in with AniList, I got that from one of the articles that I looked at earlier, but I really like that idea where it just takes care of that for you.
I think something that they've taken away if they haven't taken it away, I can't use it properly for me anymore, which is the ability to rearrange your shows in order on your list.
Rearrange your playlist, that'd be nice.
Yes. So I think something in the back like that, so that when you have when you go to your own list, your own queue, the ability to organize it based on not just what's your favorite and what isn't, not just alphabetical, actually be able to drag things around and say, I'm going to organize these by their update day. By the sequence they appear in the week, so I can say it's Tuesday. I'm going to go over here.
So you want like more sorting options?
Yes, more sorting options, more more curatability, so that you can actually say, okay, this is a show I liked. It will, they do recommend you shows, but the thing is, their library is so big, they recommend you like 40 shows that are in the same vein.
Yeah, see, I was also going to say Netflix has a thing where it kind of, it's like, oh, you liked this show, maybe you'll like this show. And while I will say that the Netflix one is kind of hit or miss, I don't know if does Crunchyroll do that already? Is it like,
it kind of does that. If you liked this, you might like this.
Yeah,
and again,
but it needs to be more. Yeah, they need to like work on that more.
I think going with your idea to tie it into AniList. Okay.
You could look at what you've rated them there.
AniList, what your other recommendations, what the aggregate recommendations are based on each one. So if somebody says, if you like this, then you like this, the ability to tick that off and say, yes, I also liked this. Building up that connection rather than just randomly recommending you things.
I think one thing you can do, it'll be tricky, because the more experience you have with anime, the harder it will be for
that's true, yeah,
it to work out what it is you haven't seen and things. But what you could do is look for people that have similar feelings to it. So like I rate the Guyver 5 out of 5. I rate Konosuba 5 out of 5. And it looks at who else has done
that's
that.
exactly it. The aggregate. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So sites like Annie Chart, they do have their recommendations or are based on what other people have recommended, who also recommended this one. So they actually go on these review things based on the aggregate of how many people reviewed the same thing.
That same article also mentioned that a lot of these pirate sites let you see the release schedule, while in like stuff like Crunchyroll doesn't always let you see like this is coming out on this day.
It's hidden. It's in the back rooms. So it's kind of, you have to go to shows this season. If you're using the app, it can barely do that at all. If you're on PC, you're on the website, you can actually go to shows this current season. You can go to the simulcast section to find what's coming up and what's been in the last week. You can locate it on their site, but
it shouldn't be that
in no way
hidden.
obvious. It's in no way obvious.
So, one thing from experience of briefly using Crunchyroll, because I'm not the biggest fan, I much prefer how Netflix do it. But for the love of God, stop encoding the subtitles into the video.
The ability to fiddle with subtitles would be good too. Yep.
So
I was.
That should be a basic feature. I mean, that shouldn't even be something that we have to say. Oh, I would love to subscribe if they had the ability to turn on and off subtitles.
No. You can turn off the subtitles, but they're encoded into the footage, right? I know this because my internet is not the greatest, and what Crunchyroll would do was it would go, this is high quality, this is low quality, this is high quality, and whenever it went low quality, the subtitles got really fucking blurry. Right? So unlike Netflix, which is transmitting it as a text file, right? Wow indeed.
So the resolution of the subtitles always matches. It's not quite, because what I've noticed is that sometimes you'll get sections where the subtitles, well, at least on PC, sections where the subtitles will lag behind. So you actually have to, if you wiggle your mouse, it kind of brings up the menus and actually refreshes where the subtitles are.
Right.
But only if you're on PC, and only if you're on the very high quality.
I had that. The thing I was describing was when I was watching it on Chromecast.
Yes, when you're on the apps and things.
Yeah.
It then it encodes it into the video, and that is
painful.
Really painful.
Yeah.
But there's no option to change the size of the subtitles, change the font to something more friendly. For people like myself and Xeno who have trouble with words dancing around in front of our eyes.
Mm-hmm. Or people with me that have trouble seeing them at all.
Yeah. Being able to adjust the font to something that is more friendly to reading with dyslexia or reading with maybe the contrast of it, so it appears differently based on what you're
control
watching.
The outlines, something.
Yes, exactly. So that kind of functionality that allows you to actually enjoy the experience of watching more. That's a good idea.
So I want to talk about some of the more praised aspects of piracy.
Mm-hmm.
So two main things. One is like more underrated shows are accessible, whereas if the Western company doesn't pick up the license for it, how the heck are you supposed to watch it? And then the other side is companies that censor or just flat out change the script. Beyond the localization, right? So
they also tend to break up the monopoly aspect of things. If there's only a couple of places that will host it, just like you said, without people picking up the license, you can't find it. But Disney currently, with its anime jail, has a monopoly on that anime, and people can access it outside of Disney.
If you live in Japan,
Yes, exactly. Well, if you live in Japan, but again, we're neither condoning nor supporting piracy, but it can be accessed.
Yeah.
Even
It's
so,
there.
Exactly. So, if companies
Well, even
decide,
if a country
what was
does,
the other one?
even if a country does license media, it's like, I mean, we see this all the time when we're looking at like Just Watch stuff for, it's like, oh, this is streaming on Netflix. Is it? It's not streaming on Netflix here. Oh, but
Exactly.
yeah.
I know that for a fact that Comey Can't Communicate has only just started coming out on Netflix in the UK. Yeah, the second part of it, yes, has only started distributing weekly in the UK, whereas we're constantly getting spoilers from America because it's available there.
Wait, I thought America was a month behind like we were.
Was it? Then who?
I thought it was only 2 weeks. I don't know.
We get a fucking month behind.
I'd have to look to be sure. I don't honestly know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it might even be Canada that's got it on time. So it depends, and it's being staggered.
Yeah.
Through the different country, as if that's ever worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it did work 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but we're way past that stage now. The only reason it should take any time at all is to get, if they want to release the dub and the sub at the same time, and they know it's going to take us 2 weeks, because they didn't, maybe they didn't get it ahead of time to work on the dub or whatever. Yeah. It'll have to run 2 weeks late because that's how long it'll take us to record, and that's kind of reasonable, but
wasn't that one of the features that Crunchyroll?
I think Funimation was doing it. Yeah.
Well, Crunchyroll sailed on it was that they would, anything they licensed, you'd get the subtitle version literally as the show was after the show aired as a simulcast, and the dubbing would come in literally as fast as they could get it. It was a couple of weeks at most, and suddenly they start releasing the dub versions. They sailed on this whole thing of getting this to you as soon as it had aired.
Yeah.
That kind of commitment was great. That is the other downside of the not so legal aspect of it, is that you might rely on the subtitles from somebody who has a different idea of what they said.
Yeah, we've run into some weird localizations as in fan subs. Oh, back in the 90s. Oh, ooh.
All according to Keikaku. Translator's note. Keikaku means plan.
Well, I mean, I always, God, it fucking pisses me off. With translations, I remember so I typically try to repeat a character's name based on exclusively what I have heard, right? So when someone says Tadano in English, because I started watching the dub for Comey Can't Communicate, I can't remember how they say it, but it's just like, what the fuck did you...
Tadano.
Yeah, it's Tadano, and it's like Tadano. It's like Tadano, and like
Maureen.
Oh, don't. Fucking don't.
For anyone who doesn't know, that is the English way they say Marin from My Dress Up Darling.
For the first episode, right?
Yeah.
They quickly changed it. And it's like, no, it's Marin. Like,
it's like Maureen. It's not actually Maureen, it's Maureen, but yeah.
Yeah,
it's so
Marin. And it's just like, oh wait, hold on. She actually makes this online account called Marine. Oh shit.
Yeah. So how can you say it? Like, oh dear.
But the crap, I had a point. Yeah, so again, it's down to like, how it's had. I remember like years and years and years ago, I was arguing with people about I was even arguing with one of my my housemates at the time about the character Elsa in fairy tale. Now everyone was saying like, no, it's pronounced Ezra. It's like, no, it's Elza. That's what all the characters say. They literally say Elza. You know, it's,
do they
Ezra.
say it? Does the L have that kind of soft LR sound?
Yeah, so I think they would have pronounced it. They would have been saying Urza in the a lot of other things. And a lot of pronunciations would have called her Urza instead of Elza.
So some of them said Urza, right? But some, like, I think the official translation was Ezra, also Ezra. But the fucking hilarious thing was, right, in the anime, there's this depiction where like someone's having a nightmare and they believe the character has died, right? And there's a giant tombstone and it is spelt ELZA, right? As soon as I saw that, I went running downstairs. I knocked on her door and she goes, yes, I've seen it. Yes, suck it. Right?
So, no, I'm always confused about that because as far as I know, when people do the mangas these days, in the last like 20 years, they actually make sure to spell out the character's name in a little subtitle in the manga itself for the actual pronunciation of it.
Really?
You know, I think it's in...
That's kind of neat.
Well, a lot of it would be in more kanji and style things where it's a little bit up to interpretation.
Right.
They do hiragana, which is almost phonetic.
Yes, it really is.
So they have to. So they actually, a lot of people, whenever they want to create a name, will actually do a little subtitle when they first say the name, so that there would be no confusion there. But of course, when do people read subtitles?
Well, and you also have to understand the Japanese vowels too. You know, you can't. You know, there's no ta and well, I mean, there is a ta and a te, but it's or te.
All vowels sound the same no matter where they're written.
Yeah, exactly. There's no soft and hard
languages.
Yeah.
So, I have a question for you. Going on the whole changing of shit.
Hit me.
What is the most egregious? Don't stop it. What's the most egregious censorship you feel of an anime? Right?
I don't know that I've watched any really. I mean, aside from there was that one in Dragon Maid where they changed a line about the clothes.
That's the way. Okay.
No, I'm going to go further back. I'm going to go further back. I'm still going to go for the One Piece stuff.
See, I've never watched One Piece.
Yeah, the early One Piece stuff, the 4Kids dub and adjustments.
Yeah, there's probably stuff I'm just not aware of because I've never watched like card captors either.
They literally took out all the blood and injuries. The most egregious one was they retconned for what was her name?
Zero's friend.
Zoro's friend. Zoro's friend. So she just went away. She never died.
Yeah.
And that.
Oh, they did a bunch of that stuff in Dragon Ball Z too. You don't go to hell. You went to another dimension.
Yes, it was. They actually, they did that as well. It was they had T-shirts literally right with hell.
HFIL.
And they edited the home for infinite losers.
Yep.
And I'm like, a bit clever, but.
Oh, and they got rid of a bunch of the blood, and Krillin's death was like sort of massively cut down, and
They cut it so you only saw the part of the explosion in the original.
Yep, and they got
the openings. Anime's fantastic for every season having a unique opening.
And they just use the same one over and over.
Yes, the Western ones just... they won't know it's One Piece unless they see the same opening over and over again. It'll just confuse them. Oh... Nasuth, I'm not holding you responsible for your country, but your country is weird.
You're welcome. It's because we're descended from Puritans.
Yes. It's a country that believes that you have to have specifics for riding a horse. England has horse riding, but America decided that they had to be specific because people tried other ways and didn't work, so you have horseback riding.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Well, it's either bareback or saddle. It's.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anyway, so the worst one for me, I think, was Tenchi Muyo for the same reasons as Thaylien, where effectively they were trying to take a adult humored show and make it suitable for children. Regardless of the fact that they censored out the nudity, but the fact that
you could imagine that they do that all the time now
Oh,
for comedy effect as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Xeno. I just thought of a really good one, but go ahead.
Not only did they do that, but they also censored out so many of the jokes. The fact that his father was caught being a peeping Tom in the onsen. The fact that Yosho felt up Ryoko, and Ryoko punched him, he blocked it, and she was confused and then proceeded to destroy the stairs, right? There were so many jokes that were just flat out removed. And again, the intro was horribly butchered, right? Yeah. And the outro. So, it can't be more than 30 seconds long, otherwise it won't, they'd actually taken the first half of the intro, or the second half of the intro actually, and slapped it on the end of the show. And it's just like, what? So that was the worst one.
Oh, sad.
What are you gonna say,
Nasuth? So taking it back again to a really old one, and we also had it in the news today. Sailor Moon. There are two I remember specifically. One is they edited out Usagi's death. Usagi? What's her name?
Yep, that's what's her name.
Yeah, edited out her death because we can't have that. And the other one was it was Zoisite. Yeah. And I can't remember the other guy's name. But they were both male and they were both and they were lovers. So they changed one of them they changed Zoisite to female in the English version because we can't have the gays.
Oh,
we must not have the gays.
They did it with the Sailor Scouts as well. There's
yes, Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune. No. It's the further out ones. Oh, really?
It was like,
Pluto and oh yes, that's right. Pluto and Uranus, I think.
Yeah, so something like that. And yeah, because you have the inner Senshi and the outer Senshi. So the ones on the inside of the asteroid belt were the standard ones.
Yeah.
The inner ones on the outside. They had two that were definitely gals being pals. Really good friends.
If I remember right, one of them was supposed to even be hermaphroditic, but I'm not 100% on that. Was that Zoisite?
Yeah, that's Zoisite. No, this was definitely she was fairly androgynous anyway and liked wearing men's clothes because they looked fantastic on her. Come on, and they just straight up, they were just friends.
Yep.
Completely edited the concept.
But they just completely got rid of all that in the English version, at least for a long time. Like the broadcast version at the very least. But yep. That was a pretty bad one.
Okay, so I think we've talked about that. Any other points that we want to talk about before I pick one?
No, I think we've covered that. So, what did you have next on the agenda, Xeno?
Could you scroll it back down?
Yes, sir.
So the licenses from a show being particularly region locked. So, for example, in the UK, we have parts 1, 2, and 3, and some of part 6 of JoJo. We don't have 4 and 5, but the US do have 4 and 5. And
it doesn't just affect anime either, does it? There's shows like Steven Universe where we got the movie and seasons 1 through something, but we didn't get the end of it.
The other side of this was also distribution hell. So even though we get locked down by licenses, we also get locked down by distribution. So the best example is Evangelion, where ADV had the license to distribute it in around the rest of the world in English, but then when ADV collapsed, the distribution rights went back to the creators in Japan, And then it was like, well, we want shit tons more money if you want to distribute it because we know how successful it is now. And I think Netflix paid some insane amount of money to get the distribution rights again. So, yeah, how do we...
I can't remember if it's also Ava or if there was another one. But there was something about how there was a company that had the rights to distribute the raw version, but they couldn't get the rights to distribute the subtitled version. I'm sorry, the dubbed version. Sorry, the dubbed version.
Yeah,
dubbed version.
That's Ghost in the Shell.
Was it Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, there's stuff like that too, where it's like it gets caught in the old company's no longer distributing the dubbed version, but the new company can't get a hold of the dub rights.
Yep.
And it's crazy. There's so many weird things like that. I mean, how would you get around that? Sorry, what?
Well, I mean,
Thaylien?
Wait.
Sorry, no, I've just got momentarily distracted. Don't mind me.
Okay, all right. Sorry, yeah. How would you?
So I mean, the thing about the negative side of this is piracy is bad.
Yep.
But piracy does get around this, right?
Stuff illegality.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that, everyone keeps on talking about how amazing Evangelion is, but I can't possibly see it because it's not distributed anywhere.
I can't. There's no way I can pay the exorbitant fees to have it imported from Japan.
Yeah, and then pay to have it,
translated.
So what am I to do? You know? So, this is like, well...
Oh, but Xbox Gamer 69 over there has uploaded the entire version with really clean rips. Oh my gosh! How can I pass that up?
What's the saying? In for a penny, in for a pound.
Yep.
So that's like often, that's the sceneful thing when it comes to distribution hell.
I was going to say, even the distribution hell can even extend to things that are not of the current kind of trend. So something that's a little older.
Yeah.
To just be lost.
Let's say I wanted to go back and watch a classic TV show, and there's no station that shows it. There's no DVDs or VHSs of it being sold. What am I supposed to... But somebody on the internet has it, and they've uploaded it. Oh my goodness. I really want to see that show. I grew up on it, but
what happens when we can't find old DVD players that play multi-region DVDs?
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing that is really prominent with the likes of Crunchyroll, the older something is, very unlikely to have it.
Yeah, because they only license it for a certain amount of time, and it doesn't behoove them to hold it longer because if nobody's really watching it because it's old. Yeah.
And it's something that I don't honestly like. What are you supposed to do, especially when we're in a day and age where everyone is pushed into subscription? Well, what if, like, I've got boxes and boxes, like the really big plastic boxes with DVDs in them of like all the anime that I have. They used to be on the shelves behind me.
I still got VHSs.
Yeah, not VHSs, but I've got a stack full of DVDs right there next to me. I can pull out. But bugger if my DVD player's hooked up.
Yeah,
and it's a huge. I think personally it's a huge concern for me when this stuff is becoming so difficult to obtain or find later on. Like Tekkaman Blade, right? Do you know how hard it was to find copies of Tekkaman Blade?
Yeah.
Right, as DVDs. A friend of mine ended up buying me, I think, like the first two as like or was it the last one? I can't remember. They ended up buying them for me for like a Christmas present and things. And it was just like, holy shit, this is incredible. It is so hard to find this stuff. You cannot find it online. right? Or if you can find it online, it'll be fairly low quality, and it will have the subtitles burned in.
Yeah, it's probably somebody recorded it off of their VHS and are now trying to sell it. Yeah.
So, I know there's looking at Outlaw Star here. Yes, it's now available again on streaming services, but if I had to go and dig it out from my DVD collection there, it would be in 4:3 and would have the subtitles just burned in just like they were, encoded in to that resolution, and it's just not good quality anymore.
So would the solution to this be to like limit the amount of time a company can prevent something from going into quote unquote the public domain? So like they have, after a certain amount of time, just they're forced to sell something at a low, or forced to license something at a low price. It's been 20 years now. You can't, you've made all the money you're going to make off of this. You can only license this for this low price, or make it free.
Something like that. Because isn't that exactly what they've been doing with Spider-Man? Sony, because they've got the rights to Spider-Man himself, not the rest of the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
And they briefly let Marvel have him back for doing the MCU movies, but then took him straight back again when they could.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what the story around that is.
Basically, that's why they always turned out those movies like did reboots and things every few years because it refreshed their license.
Yeah. Public domain is probably the wrong term, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the importance is the I think the solution, sticking with the anime, I think the solution is that if you are a distributor like Crunchyroll and you put the finances in for the dub and things, so it's effectively a Crunchyroll dub and stuff, you should make it relatively easy to purchase the item. So if the item, say Tenchi Muyo, say they own the distribution rights for Tenchi Muyo, and they are bringing it to an end, they're no longer going to be streaming it because it costs money for it to just sit on a server and just incurring costs and shit, then at least point it at point the channel, so the page, the space, the content space on their platform to where you can buy it. Right?
Interesting.
But then comes in the issue of, well, why should I buy it when I'm paying them as a streaming platform?
Yeah.
So there's maybe you get a discount if you have a subscription.
Because they would essentially be advertising the product.
Be advertising and doing that. Yeah.
They could offer their subscribers like, instead of taking the money for the advertising from this company, we're going to pass the savings on to you. They wouldn't do that, but they could.
So one question I have is, do you feel this is an interesting way of looking at this? Do you feel that streaming services have kind of killed off the high street market for buying DVDs / Blu-rays of anime?
I think in general it's on the decline. Yeah,
they've greatly minimized it.
People do still like to have their physical things.
Physical media is important, and people like their collections. I know quite a lot of people who will only do physical, first off, but then.
But your average viewer, your average anime enjoyer,
cheaper and easier to do the streaming service,
and it doesn't take up as much space because it's all just on your computer. It's not even on your computer. It's on the internet. It's in the cloud.
It's on the internet computer. But
don't you cloud me while I'm drinking.
Because it's kind of interesting, like, why couldn't the retail turn and say, like, streaming's illegal? Like, why are you able to distribute the the streams, if you know, so it's interesting. It's how you get around the loopholes and things. I think one thing that would have made platforms like Crunchyroll a lot more appealing is the idea that you can share accounts, right?
Yeah.
Like, one thing I do not understand with platforms like Netflix, you're allowed to have multiple accounts, right?
Well, multiple members on the same account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yet
Because
you cannot,
technically only one or two people can watch at the same time.
Yeah, but apparently you cannot share the account credentials. It's against the T's and C's.
Yeah.
Right? So how on earth are more than one person supposed to watch it when only one of them should technically be the account holder?
Yeah. No.
You see, the account holder sets it up on the other device for the family, and that's because that shows that you're in the same house. You're not across the country.
That's the whole basic idea of it. You're allowed to do that as long as you set up a dedicated account for them, because if only one person's paying, then only one or two people, depending on what subscription they've got, can actually watch simultaneously.
So here's a question for you. What's the name of the Crunchyroll has a family account, right? Allowing multiple people to watch at the same time.
So similar idea.
But exclusively in the same household.
Ah.
What if not all the family members are in the same household?
So it should be a household account. It should be a household account as opposed to a family account.
That is the question, though. I'm not sure how what the actual user agreement is when you sign up to it. Do they just have to be related to you, or do they have to be in the same location?
So
that's
like, as far as I remember it was labeled as a family account, right? But going through like the conditions and things, you had to be in the same property, right? You had to come from the same IP address. And I know that Netflix has turned around and, well, yeah, just don't call it a household account, sure, but don't call it a family account.
Yeah.
And Netflix have turned around and they have banned 200,000 people for sharing accounts and things. In all honesty, I think you would get more engagement from people that are reluctant to put this money into the platform if only one person can use it, if instead, oh yeah, you can share this with 4 other accounts.
Yep. Because then you could pool your money too, and people that couldn't normally afford it would be able to suddenly.
Yeah. It's like, but then we're streaming the content 4 times as much. Are you sure? Like, because, you don't know who these people are. They may only be interested in one show. They may be interested in all the shows. They may watch it at the same time as each other.
Okay, let's point this out. I'm fairly sure that actually has something to do with why their revenue has gone down quite so much recently, beyond the people avoiding the price hike. Because the ban wasn't just 20,000. It was 20,000 viewers. It wasn't 20,000 accounts.
I thought it was 200,000 accounts.
Something like that. It was way more than the actual number of accounts that were actually viewership went down.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the thing, because they're actually recording it based on viewers, not based on accounts in the first place. So,
if your account has 3 viewers on it.
Yeah,
right.
So banning
the big number that they actually lost was not based on.
It was banning extra viewers. So say I have an account. Say I have an account and I let Xeno look at it, which whatever. They would ban Xeno, which would get rid of a viewer, but I would still have my account. Right?
I thought they were banning the accounts. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they were banning the account, but you would then lose.
Oh, you'd lose 2 viewers, right? Okay.
Yes.
So they'd ban 1 account but lose 2 viewers. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sometimes, depending on the subscription, up to 5, 6.
Yeah.
So
my
that
question
can really
to you,
multiply the numbers.
So my question to you is: would you be more inclined to engage with a service like Crunchyroll if if you were able to share your account
Yes.
with other people?
Yeah.
Yes.
There is actually a little known.
There's a no.
There's a little used feature, which is for every month you're subscribed, you can actually gift a free month subscription to somebody.
Really?
I keep getting notifications about it.
And you haven't gifted me one?
No, I have not gifted you one. The problem behind it is that you can only give it to one person at a time.
Right. Yeah.
And, they can't receive more than one.
Right.
So eventually, you just run out of people, and that part of the subscription becomes useless.
So
you can only give it to me once.
Yes.
Right.
So after that month, you would actually have to start paying for it yourself.
Right.
So that's
not quite the same thing.
No.
Yeah, that's dumb. That is dumb.
That's just giving someone a free month's trial, which is nice, but also yeah.
Yeah, but it basically helps keep track of it and spread it in a social media kind of way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they had something like that for Netflix or others, expand on that system maybe, so you can gift it to the same person multiple times based on your subscription as a gift to you, the viewer, for staying. Sort of like
the Twitch Prime subscriptions. You can give that to the same streamer over and over and over again.
Yes, but specifically because you're paying for another service that's connected to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The big thing for me is, why is Netflix trying to up their bottom line? Is it because of watching the content costs too much and they need to recoup the funds?
I think it's competition.
Or is it I think it's their productions. They're we're going to pay for this to be produced so we can put it on our platform to attract more people and things. But I think if you have
cut to their animation budget as well.
Yeah.
They slashed their animation budget and they cancelled those projects.
So they're actually cancelling projects because I think they've overstepped. They've overreached. They went for all of these things thinking they were going to do a lot better than they were.
Well, so, I think part of the problem is it's Disney. Because Disney pulled all the revenue, so they pulled all the content from Netflix, which meant
anyone who came to Netflix for that was now going to Disney.
English Netflix can still see things like the Ghibli products, but that's only because they're not strictly Disney.
Yeah, and it's like, so you have this war, and then eventually what happens is, like, say Netflix folds up, then The Witcher's cancelled.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I'm like, but I was liking that, And,
but that's cancellation of shows, and that happens way too much all the time.
No. But I'm talking like
the number of times I've come across a show on Netflix and been like, "Oh, this is really good. I can't wait for the next season," because it's got like 3 seasons already, and then I'm like, "Oh, it's gone. Oh."
But no, I'm talking more in line with Evangelion.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So the fact that, it wasn't down to ADV deciding to cancel the show, it was down to the fact that ADV folded up and the show went away. Right? It was no longer...
The distribution went away, yes.
Yeah, so, it's stuff like that. And the only way to then acquire it or to see it is through piracy.
Mm-hmm.
Or exorbitant sums of money.
Yeah.
Which, let's face it, the majority of people don't have.
No.
So,
and even the majority of companies don't have. When you think about how much money that Netflix spooled out into acquiring shows in the first place.
right.
I think similarly tied to that is shows that never got licensed by Western companies. Is it okay then to get it, or because the company literally cannot get money from you unless you import it, which is, again, as we've said, exorbitantly expensive. And
but then are you expected to learn Japanese in order to actually watch it? Because it's not going to have subtitles in English.
Yep. You're going to have to pay for somebody to subtitle it, or learn Japanese, or try to get a hold of the script and then machine translate it, and God knows what's going to come out of that. Cool. The line in Monty Python's Holy Grail where they're like, your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries. So back in the days of Laserdisc, a friend of mine had the movie on it, and they were able to translate it to play the Chinese audio and then have it translated back into the subtitles translated into English, and it came out as I don't remember what the mother bit was. Your mother does something and your father eats bad rice. and it's just like, what? Okay. Sure, yeah.
So there's another one, which is Star Wars Backstroke of the West.
Oh, yes! Oh, God!
So for anyone that doesn't know, Star Wars Backstroke of the West is...
hilarious.
It's the retranslation of, I think, the Chinese
I think it is Chinese,
subtitles.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they translated the movie from English to Chinese and then back to English.
Yeah.
And pardon my language for this, but one of my favorite mistranslations was R2. Do you is fucking? It's Anakin talking to it's Revenge of the Sith, by the way.
Oh, Revenge of the Sith translates to Backstroke of the West because the Sith of the West for some reason.
And again, the whole when Darth Vader emerges, what happened to Palpatine? You killed Palpatine. No. It's like the translation is do not want.
Yes, do not want.
Yeah. So that's where I always say it from.
Don't forget that we've suffered a little from that as well, Xeno. Because if you look at the auto translate on Kanpai,
Senpai.
What?
When Thaylien did his amazing accent?
Yeah.
The auto translate for some of that is absolute gold.
Oh, I need to freaking check this out.
I thought about putting in fake translations for that, but YouTube did better than I ever could have imagined.
Yeah.
Oh man, I kind of want to redo one of one of the episodes back into, just re-record all the lines as the bad translation.
Special edition.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, stuff that isn't licensed.
So I don't
never
feel
going to appear here. So how do we get to see it?
Yeah, I don't. God, it's. I think the problem is piracy is your only option. Fan subs are realistically your only option unless you dedicate a small portion of your life to learning Japanese. That's not something everyone can readily afford to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
you are subject to all those same things that we mentioned before.
Yeah.
Such as the mistranslations, other people having different opinions, different intonations and timing, changing how you do the lines, people just mishearing names, all of it.
Should it be legal if it's not licensed to be able to get a hold of it.
Oh no, that's the thing. It never will be legal ever. There's never going to be a question of should it be. But is it something that you should be punished for?
Well, I think if it's breaking the law, the answer is yes. The question is,
how much do they enforce that, or how much do they chase that?
Yeah.
Well, it's not just that, but like, how do you, like, at what point can you justify it? Like, oh yeah, so this person,
the morality of it, yeah.
Well, it's not just the morality, but it's like, so we are not one world. Right, we are far from one world because everyone has their own interpretations. For example, I don't know if you're aware of this, Doctor Strange 2 is not being made available in any way, shape, or form in Saudi Arabia and Egypt, right? Because of, I think, a bisexual character.
Yep.
And like, they wanted Disney to change it, but Disney refused to change it.
Which is surprising because they censored out something in, what was it, Star Wars 9? Was it 8? Was it 8 or 9? There was like a lesbian kiss between two people in the background, and Disney cut that out for the Chinese version.
Wow.
Yeah. Arch conservatism is a heavy thing in many countries.
I know.
Wasn't there a game that you couldn't buy in Australia because they refused to actually put a license on it?
Oh, well, I think there's been a few of those.
There's a few of those. They rate some things as unlicensed, so they cannot be actually legally sold there, which is just...
Yeah, so there's like, there's all this legal red tape, and what is a law in one country may not be a law in another country. I know, again, there's a huge conflict between Japan and America in terms of the whole nudity side of things. Like, it's seen so differently between the two countries. So, how are you going to possibly, unless you somehow convince a country to extradite its own citizen, I mean, I don't know how you pulled that off, America, but
we're amazing. That's how.
If anyone's wondering what I'm referring to, America extradited UK extradited one of its own citizens that was responsible for the website TV Links back in the mid 2000s, and extradited him to the States, where he received, I think it was like a $200,000 fine. For
that site was so cool too. Man,
it was absolutely insane. It's just like, UK, why the fuck did you do this? Right?
Because they're America's little brother now. You're welcome.
The big brother. I'm just being nice to you.
The PM that actually did this, she was given so much shit for it.
As she should be, yeah.
I don't even know if that kid ever came back to the UK. I genuinely don't. So it's crazy. It's just crazy.
There must have been some political shit going on in the background that nobody ever heard of.
Probably. I mean, that's often the case.
That's the only way that a normal citizen would be extradited to another country to suffer punishment. That just doesn't happen under a normal circumstance.
Yeah, that screams somebody pulled some strings in the background.
So I think when it comes to piracy, is it right? In no way, shape, or form. But it is in some cases the only way.
Is there there are gray areas. It's not just a black and white.
I think I very, very don't think at any point in time piracy is right.
Yeah.
But
because you are still hurting somebody somewhere along the line, potentially.
I think the problem is that no matter what, like, sometimes it's just the only option.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes it's impossible to get it any other way. And here's a better question. Should you be prevented to experience this art form, right, just because it is not available any other way.
Yeah.
Indeed. That is.
I don't have to pay to go see a statue in the park.
Here's the other thing, is that aside from revenue, going back to the original creator or the publisher, is anything lost by it? Because it's basically duplication. It's digital media. There's never going to be any theft.
The only cost is in hard drive space and bandwidth time.
Only cost is in potentia. It's in futures. It's like a pig dying in the field when it should have gone to market.
I hate that. I hate the fact that it's called piracy. It's just like, yeah, but you're not stealing anything.
Mateys.
Anyway,
I'm coming over and I'm going to make a very detailed copy of that painting you're carrying in your home.
Sorry. Not that you're not stealing anything.
You're stealing intellectual property, but you're not stealing physical property.
No. The thing with piracy, this vision of piracy, right, is the fact that you're taking a copy of it.
Yeah.
Right? As Thaylien was saying, you wouldn't steal a car, right? There was this huge campaign in the UK.
But I'd copy a car.
Right, exactly. Right?
If I could 3D print a car out at home, I'd buy a 3D printer, which is a lot cheaper than a car, and 3D print a car.
Yeah, right? If you could just duplicate something for little to no cost...
Just press a button and a complete duplicate of the car exists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, anyway, right, so...
You wouldn't be paying the car manufacturers, you wouldn't be paying the workers that actually go through the thing. You wouldn't be paying the licensing fee for the car, or even
all you'd be paying for is the 3D printing materials.
You'd just be paying for the button that you pressed.
Right. So much like the play button on this video. Right. So I can't think of much else to say. The only other thing I can think of is the entitlement.
Yeah, yes. Did we really? Yeah, that and the try before you buy, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, actually, yeah, I do. Yeah. If we've got two, I do want to talk about them. Okay, so I can. So one thing I was brainstorming with Nasuth, one thing I thought of was the fact that piracy can quite easily lead to the, as you put it, the diminished view of effort it takes to create the media. And you end up like gaining this sense of entitlement. It's like, oh well,
I downloaded this game and I only got to play it for 10 hours. It couldn't have been that expensive for them to make.
Yeah. Like it's that level of, I didn't have to put any money in, so what's the harm in me doing it more?
Yeah.
But also, the entitlement actually gets you to do it in the first place. So, I want to watch this show. I want to play this game.
Yeah.
Therefore, even if I don't have money, I deserve to be able to.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that.
There's probably a bit of FOMO in there because everyone all these other people are playing it. I really want to. I don't want to miss out. I need this experience that they're all having.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other side of it is try before you buy has been changed to buy or never experience.
Yeah.
Back, 20 years ago, you would get gaming magazines that had demo discs on.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you wanted to try a game before you bought it. But nowadays... none exist.
You may get one or two episodes of an anime.
So many,
if you're lucky.
So many days spent on the very earliest PlayStation console, just replaying the same 2 levels with the same 3 cars on a race game that they released. I think it was a really good one. It was like. When you could go inverted on because the vehicles had wheels that went both ways.
Right.
Yeah, so the whole thing. Anyway, the idea of demos, the idea of anything that could be giving you a taste of the game, no, that's all done through gameplay trailers now.
You do still get
through-
some of them. I think there was one for. I think there was one for Elden Ring, and I know there was one for Monster Hunter Rise.
There was definitely one for Monster Hunter Rise. There wasn't one for Elden Ring.
Okay. But yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
but
It
that's
is even
like
even when it
went
does
on
even if it
to-
does happen, it's rare. Yeah.
Early access is now the thing.
Oh
isn't it?
yeah.
Still have to pay for it. But yeah,
Which you still have to pay for. But then again, you did pay for the magazines with the demos on them.
true.
Also-
but you got more than just the demo. You got the
Yes.
reviews. You got the previews. You got like
You got the whole magazine.
yes.
Also,
And-
if you couldn't get it right away, you could almost be certain that eventually it would show up at like a used game shop or a used movie shop or whatever.
Yeah.
And you could buy it at a much reduced price. How do you sell?
Yes.
How do you sell somebody else a digital copy of a game
Yeah. That's a really valid point.
or a
Right.
digital copy of a movie? I guess you could download it onto
Exactly.
a disc, but.
I mean,
how
think about
are you
it.
going to give them access to your? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Not from a console, can you? No.
yeah, no,
If you wanted to be 100% legal the entire time, right, you would have to spend metric fuck tons more money to be able to just live life,
yeah,
right?
Mm.
You know, try before you buy, you know, so, oh, I want to see Comey Can't Communicate. Well, you have to pay for a month subscription before
Yep.
you can actually watch it. Like, I remember I bought into
I haven't
Netflix
seen that.
exclusively for Disenchantment, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was the only way to see it.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it's like, where's the days of, I mean, I think this is one thing Crunchyroll had credit to, was the fact that you could watch the service with advertisements, and God, did they piss me off, before you could actually decide whether or
not nearly
you
as
want
much
to
as
buy into it.
Funimation adverts. They like spam the same Funimation advert 3 times in a row before you could watch the episode. And in the middle as well.
Well, I mean, Crunchyroll has you beat there, because it's the same advert, once at the start, then at 50 seconds. No, sorry, was it 3 times?
Yeah.
There was shit. I can't remember what it was. It was a lot. It got spammed to you a lot.
Yes. But the funny thing is that you could do it for free, like a week delayed. That,
Yeah.
just that simple thing. So you'd get pretty much the same schedule just a week after everybody else's.
yeah.
So, and that
I
was
know.
not bad when you stop to think about it.
I know with Crunchyroll.
And also, if
they-
you had an ad blocker, that was working. That was fine.
well, not if you wanted to watch it
is
on
an
your
ad
TV.
blocker is using an ad blocker also piracy? If you go to Crunchyroll and you use an ad, well, before old Crunchyroll, and you use an ad blocker, so you don't have to watch any ads to see the episode, is that also piracy?
Well, that's a good point, because you're watching it without the
Yep.
monetization.
You're not giving them anything in return.
But here's the question: is it piracy then if you did watch the advert but didn't go to what the advert advertised and pay?
No.
So
Because they only get advertising based on how many clicks they get onto
So-
those adverts.
That's true.
that's not necessarily true, because you get
No.
Sometimes it's a bit of both. You get
price
some per
per
impression,
click and then
yeah,
price per view. Yeah.
yeah.
And they
It's a
have the
lower
average
price
out
per
in
view,
some way.
but yeah.
Yeah. But the
There's no record that you didn't watch them if you use an ad blocker.
So here's the
Think so,
question:
yeah.
is an ad blocker, you know, a different form of piracy? This is part of the problem, though. It's like everything. It's just as I said, everything you do is forced upon you at a cost you don't necessarily agree with.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But what's your choice? You have no choice, right?
Going around the internet
What-
without an ad blocker can be dangerous. You know, you don't.
Oh God, yeah.
You know,
One of the biggest things that I find extremely egregious in the UK is our council tax. I have no choice but to pay the council tax or go to jail. Right? That's the only 2 options. So, but I have no choice in what I pay. I just have to pay the amount they demand. But I see nothing for it. Right? The roads outside my apartment are still in utter atrocious mess. I still don't have fiber to my. Why am I paying this money for something that I'm seeing no benefit for?
Oof, yeah.
But I mean, that's a, I suppose, a shit show for another day.
I'm pretty lucky in my town. We've actually got a really good city government. So yeah. So I'm never moving ever.
Are we done with the topic? Are we coming to?
I think I'm done. Do you got anything else, Thaylien?
No, I mean, it's the only thing I can think of was that simple moral grey area towards all of this. We never have to think in terms of black and white in our daily life. Right and wrong, everything else is always shades of grey.
Mm-hmm.
But almost everybody in the world, you have to have a very particular mind to think in black and white at all times.
Yeah.
So it's, again, a matter of crime versus punishment. Yes, it's a crime. What is the punishment? Where,
what is the punishment deserved?
If piracy is a crime, then same as we just said, is ad blocking a crime? If ad blocking is a crime, what is the punishment? Is there anything?
Is fast forwarding through the commercials on TV a crime?
Yeah, if recording on a TiVo or
DVR,
DVR, and then fast forwarding through the adverts, is that a crime? And I don't know if it is. So, but at the same time, by somebody's definition, it definitely is.
Mm-hmm.
And if so, what is the punishment? And I would prefer to see that taken on a shades of grey level, where if there's no harm other than potentia, the idea that there might have been money exchanged hands if things had actually been able to exchange, if anybody had actually been able to exchange money, then if that's all the harm that's done, I don't think there should be any punishment for doing so. It undoubtedly is a crime.
There's no physical victim per se.
Not even it's not even.
There's no actual. There's only a potential.
Because yes, again, it's the same thing as I said before, a product like a pig that's going to slaughter, and it dies before it can be transported, so they can't buy that pig.
Or
so
escapes.
So it's as if the pig never, for the people that would buy the bacon, that pig never existed.
Yeah.
So it never would have been on the market. They could never have bought it because it, was never passed out. So,
are you saying I'm a pig?
If yes. No, I'm saying Xeno's a pig. But since that pig died, nobody bought it. If somebody came along and took that pig away, the only person that's actually out by any money is the original farmer, who wouldn't have got money for it in the first place.
Oh, so you're saying if somebody took the carcass because it's still technically good.
Somebody still got bacon out of it.
Right, yeah. Okay, yeah, I see.
The only thing would be physical property. So it's not even on that scale, because not only is no money changing hands, no actual property is either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The intellectual property for a show or for a game or for anything like that still went out to the desired people. And even though you aren't the desired person, you have not actually taken anything either.
Yeah.
So in that case, the punishment should not be enforced, I believe.
Well, and I think there are also plenty of examples where making it easier to get stops that sort of thing in the first place.
Yes, exactly. So
yeah.
the leading to innovation part of this whole cycle, where places where TV started going completely off the rails with its packages, and so Netflix was invented.
Yep. They could, but yeah, you could just remove the legality issue altogether if they just made it easier.
Yeah, piracy went down because the availability.
Well, even remember Napster and iTunes. When iTunes came out and they started making it more available, they got rid of the AACs and made it MP3s. Piracy just plummeted.
Yes, it did. So that's the thing. So the innovation side of things is great. I am sad that we are looking at the downturn of this. But I cannot wait to see what innovation comes out again after this. You know, we're going to hit that downspell of everything. And I still think that even though it's going to cause this, there needs to be shades of grey throughout the process, not just in the moral thing, on the legal thing, in the enforcement side of things. You know, so it's a very, very grey area overall. But that's about it. That's all. That's unfortunately all I have to say on the topic. And if Xeno is out of,
I think we've all run out of steam. Yeah.
Also, it's getting a little late on today after all the false starts we had with the start of the show.
Oh God.
So I think, dear Xeno, it is time for you to lead us on to the rest of the show.
Okay, it's time for supporter questions. Let's do supportings. Right. Woo! So Zrugol says. So before I start the supporter questions, I want to issue a challenge to the audience. See if you can hit the like button before I stuff all 10 of these chicken nuggets into my mouth. Go.
Oh, I want nuggies now. Oh man.
I don't have.
Can't have nuggets. Damn it.
I don't have any chicken. I
don't have a like button here. I'll have to wait until it comes out.
Okay. The next, Zrugol also says, why does Nasuth pronounce his name Nasuth? Have I, Zrugol, been saying it wrong all these months?
So here's the thing.
Minds want to know.
Here's the thing. My actual name can't be said by human tongue. And since I am currently using human tongue, I can't tell you the answer. Just call me whatever you want. I don't really.
That guy.
Yeah.
Sure, Piggy.
I think so. So I got the name. I don't know if I've actually told the story here. I've got the name from an Ursula K. Le Guin book called The Left Hand of Darkness.
Right.
And it's. I won't get into it too much, but it's about an offshoot of humans that live on another planet, and they sort of have their own language, and that's one of the words in the language. So in my head, I always read it Nasuth, but Xeno says Nasuth because he's British. And so I don't.
Nasuth.
And we pronounce things correctly.
You has two sounds. Thank you. But yeah, so yeah, I just roll with whatever. It doesn't really bother me.
Whatever, Trevor.
Yeah.
Right. Next. Why Loz? Why? With Loz being once again trapped in a crystal view screen like Zordon, it falls to another host with to be his teenagers with attitude. Thinking of Zordon, pardon me again, and the current fantastic series Love After World Domination, what Sentai Ranger color would the cast pick for each other? Nasuth pink.
Yeah.
Nasuth pink.
Yeah.
Nasuth pink.
That seems about right. Either pink or purple.
I don't think we've had a purple ranger.
Well, maybe it's time.
The only difference is the strength of your grip, right?
What?
I'm glad that went over your head, so never mind.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't hear it.
That's fine.
Don't worry.
Let's just,
okay.
Right.
All right.
Okay. Don't. Okay, so what would we do for Xeno?
Yellow.
Well, no, you don't get to decide. You have to pick Thaylien's.
Oh.
No, the two people are picking for the other one.
Oh, I think Thaylien agreed with you or something.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I agree. Okay. I agree with you.
Yeah,
fine.
Nasuth the pink ranger.
Fine. What am I?
Yellow.
No, I don't think he is the yellow.
I mean, he could also be blue or green, I suppose, but yellow, I think.
I was thinking like mustard yellow.
Yeah.
Nice mustard yellow color.
Yeah. Dark mustard or like bright yellow mustard.
Dark mustard.
Okay.
I mean,
Dijon.
I want
people. It's a Dijon ranger.
So more of a gold. Like a gold.
I want
ranger.
people to like taste me as they smell me, right?
So like going to an anime con or a furry con, and just the smell that hits you when you enter those doors, and you can taste
I'm just
it.
gonna say we will have air purifiers in our masks. I'm just gonna point that one out there, right? But yeah, pretty much, right? Like, have you ever had like mustard like so strong that as it comes closer you smell it like I can taste that?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
I have.
Yeah.
But also, tell me, Timmy, have you ever been in a men's locker room?
Oh my God. Anyway.
This is turning into make ourselves grossed out now.
Anyway, no, but Thaylien.
Oh no, it's me, isn't it?
I'm gonna make him
green.
really.
Yeah, green or blue, but I think green.
I think green,
Yeah.
like sickly, pukey green.
See, I was thinking a nice sort of emerald green.
Do I get a nice dagger that's also
baby
flute,
diarrhea
I can
green.
slay a dragon with it?
Diarrhea green. I'm
baby
concerned
diarrhea.
by your health.
Baby diarrhea green.
I am concerned by your bodily functions.
Baby diarrhea is green though.
Xeno, have you not seen that, Xeno? Have you not been around
it's not-
children
it's-
for that kind of?
It's
event?
not really something that I like. Oh, is your child having diarrhea? Well, why don't you whip that nappy off? and
You've
let
never
me
had to
talk?
change the diapers for a friend?
No.
Oh, see, I've been
Thank
babysitting.
God.
I've been babysitting for friends before, and I've had to do that.
I have
Thank God.
godchildren and small cousins and.
Yeah.
I thought you
You-
just said
you-
I have dog children.
Okay, that's special, Xeno. You actually dyslexiated your own hearing.
I don't know. People are talking over you. Right, should we move on to the next one? Is what you call it? Why is it a Loz? Why with with a theme of a nautical nature this week, sailing the digital seas in search of the best girl booty. What roles would the cast take if they became the crew of a pirate ship? I'd be captain.
Damn it.
So, but no, I wouldn't go for captain.
I'd totally go for captain.
I
I get to blame the first
feel
mate
like-
and then execute them.
I feel like Thaylien for some reason would be in the crow's nest. Is it the? It's probably the
exactly
whole
what I was
bird.
going for.
It's probably the whole bird
It's the-
thing. Yeah.
I would be a top man. I'd be up in the rigging,
Yeah.
furling sails and all of that, because nice views all round, and nobody comes up to bother me.
Don't know if I want to be the bosun or the cook.
Oh, totally cook.
Probably cook.
Cook has all
Oh, yeah.
all the power.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Right? If you piss off the cook, you ain't getting fucking fed, are you?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Or
I'll
if you
spit in your
piss
face.
off the
Fresh
cook
water controlled.
enough, you don't want to be on the receiving end of what the cook gives you.
Oh, I don't know why I'm throwing up everywhere. Can't. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you see, my young man, you should have picked the lesser of the two weevils.
Right, moving on to the last one. Free Saturdays for all. Does it make you sad when the supporters just don't exercise their right, nay, their duty to ask you a question? Not particularly.
No.
If you want to
mean,
subscribe to
I-
Xeno's Patreon, go on. Do
Yep.
it. Ask
I
questions.
You can ask him
I do
anything.
enjoy it. Yeah.
And he has to read it out.
Yeah.
I've managed to make him read out some amazing things.
There's one thing I won't read out. Anyway, so let's move
There's
on
a
to the
particular
comments.
name that we won't.
All right.
Is it
mention yet.
I hate Guyver? Is that what you won't read out?
Regardless. Anyway, so moving on
It's
to the
the
comments.
praising the sheer quality of animation.
Moving on to the credits. So comments. Right,
The
so
comment
Strong
section.
Michelle. Last week, Strong Michelle. I don't feel the need to judge you guys for your lists. I was told this was a safe place for weebs. It is a safe place.
For the audience, yes. For each other, no.
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 But this guy, we're going to get to read all sorts of things on the questions, aren't we, gentlemen? And ladies. Equal opportunity, so let's go for that.
Equal opportunity trolling. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Trex Paddock and Zoogle say the new audio is magnificent, guys. Well done, you all.
Y'all.
Y'all.
You all.
Y'all.
And the audio does sound really good. Good job, guys.
Come
So
on,
there we go.
Xeno.
Yeah.
Come on, Xeno. You are British. You know what the power of an apostrophe does. Come on.
Yes! And when you're meant to use it to replace one character, not two!
Y'all. It's y'all. Y'all. Yeah, you're replacing one letter. You're just replacing an A. Y'all. Yeah. Y'all. Yeah.
Oh, my.
Exactly.
Dear God, give me strength. Moving on to the memes. To the first meme.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we got the
Oh, sorry, yes.
the classic. We got the classic boyfriend meme, looking, with Marin, and then looking at your, like, yeah.
Do you know they actually continued this photo set? There's a whole story played out by this photo set. It's quite impressive.
Is there? Oh
No,
my
I didn't know
goodness.
this.
Yeah,
I didn't know this.
which people are discovering and are starting to meme on. It's
Lol. Okay, so the next one.
Yes, the waifu wars. You've got, Froppy? I don't know who Froppy is.
that's My Hero Academia.
Hinata, Hayasaka, Judy Hops, 02. I can't quite read that one in the background.
Speedwagon.
Speedwagon. Yes. And the best husbando accords, everyone agrees. Speedwagon.
Speedwagon. Yep.
Speedwagon.
I'm surprised Speedwagon's in both.
Speedwagon is best waifu to many people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's just like, I can't. Okay. Yep.
Number 3, brothers and sisters. Oh wait. Yes, brothers and sisters are natural enemies, like anime fans and manga fans, or anime fans and light novel fans, or anime fans and live action fans, or anime fans and other anime fans. Damn anime fans, they ruined the anime fandom!
Brothers and sisters are natural enemies.
Yeah. Go do it in your proper Scottish accent if you want.
No, I won't. I shall not.
Oh, gosh.
Brothers and sorry.
Because I don't have one.
This meme format again. You make an anime reference during dinner, no one gets it. Your dad gets it. It was a hentai reference.
Oh!
Dad is a man of culture.
Oof.
Number 5. It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Why do you like Spy X Family? It's my first time experiencing a loving family. I love the sad and funny memes. There's just something about them.
Yeah.
And finally, before watching JoJo, after watching JoJo, so
So true. It is so true. Yeah.
on to Xenos.
Okay. So my first one. Your Honor, there was a mosquito on his forehead.
If you haven't watched the latest episode of, episode 4 of Spy X Family, you won't get this. But if you have, you should have.
Yeah, you should
Those
have.
glorious moments.
Okay. Other fandoms. Anime only, manga readers. Meanwhile, the Spy X Family fandom, anime only, manga readers.
I feel that's also the Komi fandom.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yes.
Can't wait for the live action version.
My third meme. Right. If I lose, we're having sex. Bring it. And then flirting. Yep.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh, that was number 3.
Yep. Number 4. Goku will leave a MF, motherfucker, like this and be like, I hope we get to fight again one day.
The worst bit is he means it. He really does.
Yep. He hopes they get stronger and come back for him. Yep.
My 5th meme is Demon Slayer. No. Kimetsu no Yaiba. No. The Japanese version of it. No. That time when Michael Jackson got reincarnated as the Demon Lord. Right, and then my last one. Now,
No
sorry,
more.
this is
No one
Elon
gonna
Musk.
kill me.
Yeah, okay, this is
What?
Elon Musk's, right?
Oh,
Now
no.
I'm going to buy Madhouse and make second season of No Game No Life.
What the
Your memes will not save you, old man.
Yep,
Oh my gosh.
yep.
Cool. You can go find memes like this on the Kanpai Cast Twitter, curated by Xeno mostly, sometimes me, mostly Xeno though.
They don't give me control of these things.
No.
I'm not allowed it.
Nope.
Three of them posted daily, and they are pretty much always amazing.
Xeno didn't even use my meme this evening.
Oh,
Yep. Right, that is it for
He's not
this
going to
week.
talk about my meme because of
No,
the
I'm not.
contents.
Well, you didn't give me a reference link. You just gave me the meme. Right. So next week we haven't decided what we're doing. Mostly because I decided on what we were doing this week with Loz, and then
Loz didn't.
Loz
He got
couldn't
trapped.
make it.
He got trapped in
at the
that
last
crystal
minute.
screen.
Yep.
It was minted to the blockchain.
Oh my god. Yeah. So we'll work out what we're doing next. We're going to work out what we're doing for the next few weeks. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you could scroll down so I can actually read out the actual thing it says. Right. Thank you all for watching, listening, and now it's time for us to bottoms up and Kanpai!